Hey there everyone, this is Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and on today's video I'm going to show you how we store and organize all of our homeschool things. On this channel you can expect to find all things homeschool, be it homeschool reviews, demonstrations of how we use the curriculum in real life lessons. I'll show you how we plan, how we schedule, and how we incorporate fun into our homeschool as well. So if you want to see where we store all our homeschool stuff, stay tuned. Okay, so the first of the homeschool organization spaces is right here in my kitchen, and because it's my kitchen, you hear the dishwasher running. It's kind of a common sound, but it's just this little cubby area here. It's still in progress. You see I have the hymn that we're going to be studying and the verse that we're going to be learning. I haven't written that up there yet, and of course, because this is a family home, we've got paint projects going on, and that is just stacked there too because we just painted a wall in our kitchen. But this is where we store pretty much everything that we use on a daily basis in homeschool. So let's take a closer look and see what we've got in here. In this first drawer is just my little supply station. The kids really don't get in here a ton. This is mainly for mommy. This is going to be what I use to make our daily schedule, and just some basic things in here that are for me. As well, over here in this drawer is mainly for me. These are little things that I need to go through, and this is a bin of stuff that I need to grade, or like under here I've got a review that I need to do for Timberdoodle. Some other teacher's guide type stuff is in here. So this is mommy's drawer. Up here, these two top drawers. But down here, this is where all of our daily curriculum is, and this is where my kids just know they can go to get their subjects ready to go for the day. I'm going to open up this tripod here and see if I can make this a little more steady for you than me holding it. There we go, that looks better. Okay, so these are just some cardboard magazine holders. You guys, if you've watched my channel, you have seen these around since first grade because that's when I got them. We're getting ready to go into fourth grade. These have held up incredibly well. I think I got 6 of them for $20 on Amazon. If you just look up Banker's Box magazine holders, these should come up. They come in all different colors, as you can see here, and then I just printed off these little labels online and put the different subjects that go with what is in each bin. So these two bins here are my son's. This bin here says kindergarten, and this is my daughter's. So this is basically all of her daily work for kindergarten. Not every day. We don't do all of these things every day. But these are the things that we will currently be working on. She's got her math, her craft book, her phonics books right here. These are the phonics books we're using. And then here's the Bible books that we're using for her BGU Press distance learning videos. So this is all things kindergarten, and I can just send her right here to her red bin and tell her to pull out her math book or whatever it is, and she knows right where to go. This is a low cabinet, so my children can reach these things on their own. That was a problem we had in previous years where I was storing everything up really high and they couldn't access their materials on their own. This right here is again my son's bin. This has everything that he will need for art, Spanish, and language arts, and then over here is reading, spelling, math, and health. So these are basically subjects that are more independent. These aren't things, with the exception of art. We will do art all of us together, and that's why I have this Usborne activity book for my daughter, so she can do some art projects too. But my son will mainly do these subjects independently with minimal assistance from me, and I'll show you in a minute where we're going to do our family subjects. I'll show you where those are. Over here in this cupboard, right next to it, I'll pull back a little bit so you can see. So in this cupboard over here, this is their daily like supplies bins. Their markers, pencils, scissors, glue sticks, all of that stuff. They each have one. The yellow one in the back is my daughter's. This green one is my son's. And then this red one here is mine. So this has always been stored up high on a higher shelf. And I sat down my kids today and said, now this one is for mommy. So even though it's down low where all your things are, you need to ask before you go in there, because there are some special things in there. Like I'm kind of trusting my kids, you guys, that that they don't get into the permanent markers there and some other things that could cause a little trouble. So this is going to be an exercise in trust, leaving that bin down here. But I wanted to rearrange things a little bit because I wanted to free up more space down here, so I had to free up an upper cabinet, and I won't go into all the details, but I had to move it down here, and I'm hoping that'll be okay. Over on this side are some less frequently used things I'll use for kindergarten, some phonics flashcards and teaching charts and things that I had saved from my son when he went through phonics, and so I'm just going to have those there in case we want to utilize them. And then I did something brand new this year. I've never done this before, and I'm going to do a separate video on it. This right here is something I just created this year. It's called a phonics box. Just something I thought of that might help bring some hands-on activity and some variety to our phonics time. So I will do a separate video on that. I also made a math box as well. So you can see in the back there we have some extra clipboards. My kids do a lot of stuff on clipboards. I'm going to scroll back over here just for a minute, or turn, I guess, not scroll. But over here you see math and spelling, and then also his blue notebook here, that's language arts. Some of those things my son will be doing with distance learning, and so I will have him come here, pull out the pages that he needs, put those on a clipboard. Those are backup clipboards back there. He has some clipboards that are more accessible in his drawer, so he can get to clipboards more easily than that. But he will just put the pages from these bins on his clipboard and then head into our family room. So that is our first homeschool storage space. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here and meet you in the next space. Okay, so this is homeschool space number 2, and again we have evidence of home renovation over there, but that's okay, we live here. So this is homeschool space number 2. My kids are here. I'm not going to have them on camera with all the new YouTube rules, so I'm just kind of focused in right here, but this is a whole big living room. There's a couch behind me, another chair there off to the left side, but this is our homeschool morning basket. I've done a separate video on that. I will link it below in the description. This is the second space where we store homeschool stuff, right in our living room. It's the room right over from the kitchen. The kitchen is right that way, and that's where we were just a minute ago. This is our second homeschool storage space, just this little table right here. These are all of our family subjects, science, history, handwriting, music, and Bible time. So that stuff is all right there and in our living room, and there's baby. Okay, here we are back in the kitchen, and this right here is our pantry. So this is our big food closet, and down here is where we have all of our just like freestyle crafting things, extra notebooks. Of course, we've got some snacks over there on the one side, but the big green basket's kind of messy. That's our kiwi crates that we get some extra supplies from that. This is just a crafting place that my very crafty daughter can come and just take these supplies and go and use them. There really aren't a whole lot of rules with this stuff except for the paint. Mommy wants to know when she has the bottles of paint, but she can get out the paint sticks that you see there, and this bag full of craft supplies, she can just get that out and free craft all she wants. Down here below, next to our big old thing of dog food, is something else new I've made this year. That's going to be our math bin. Again, I'll do a whole separate video on the math and phonics bin, you guys. This is something I just did today, and I'm pretty excited about it. I didn't have this for my son, and I'm excited to use it with my daughter for kindergarten and hope that that will bring a little bit of more hands-on activity to our math time. So this right here is just a way that I've used the backs of our doors to kind of keep the school look out of our home. That was actually a concern of my husband's, that we didn't have a whole lot of primary posters all over the place. So I've used the backs of our doors in this main kitchen area to kind of house some of the things that I wanted to have on display. So this is my son's reading chart. Once he gets to 30 of these, which he's got them all over here. I really don't know what number we are. We're in the 20s. I just don't know what number we're on. But when he gets to 30, he gets a day at the trampoline park. So he is busy reading so he can go there. I hope the trampoline park opens soon after this whole virus thing so that we're able to go and fulfill that promise. But this is homeschool storage space number 3, just in our regular pantry here, just a place for us to store this kind of fun free crafting stuff. Not really school related so much, but I still thought I'd show you. All right, for our next homeschool space, we are up in my bedroom, and this is my closet. There are several reasons I store this stuff in here, you guys. Number one, because it is right in my room where I can quietly go through and do lesson planning and be comfortable and not making noise in other parts of our house, have a little peace and quiet. So I keep all of the yet to be used or have already used curriculum in this space. So here, standing up, oh, where's my finger? Oops, sorry. Standing up over here are things that we are not using this school year, but I'm saving for my daughter to use in a future year. That's what those are. The bigger stack here is my son's 4th grade material that we will get to at some point later in the year. And the smaller stack there is for my daughter's kindergarten year. Those are things that are in our plan. You saw them in our videos for 4th grade and kindergarten. They just aren't ready to be used just yet, and I don't want to take up valuable space in that daily cupboard downstairs. Let's head on to our final homeschool space. Okay, you guys, we are in our final storage space for homeschool. This is the final closet. This is actually in my husband's office, and there's a bunch of other stuff that we still have to go through out of that closet. You see we have some random baby things over to the left, but this little area is for kind of some unit studies or extra books or enrichment things that I haven't quite figured out where to put in yet. That's mainly what's on this shelf here. I do have a plan for using something in that Heart of Dakota guide, so I wanted to save that, but wasn't really sure when I would put that in, so that is there. I have some extra readers up here because with the library being closed, I wasn't sure if we'd be able to get books to read over the summer, so I just purchased a set of hardcover readers. Those are there. Then down at the bottom here is just extra stuff. I have extra notebooks and things like that, my laminator. I've got my school catalogs here, or homeschool publishing catalogs there, homeschool publishers, got that there. And then in this file here are some things that I'm saving for my daughter for 1st grade, but I'm not really sure where I'm going to put those in, so they're just kind of in this extras category closet. So these are things that obviously I didn't want to take up room in the daily cupboards, and I'm not sure if they're going to make it in the rotation next year, so they're not in my future curriculum cupboard. This is just an extra space, and this is really a function of just not having one main place to store everything, and so I'm just using little nooks and crannies all over our home, and this is how I've organized it. So nothing super fancy, nothing from what's that store? IKEA. Nothing wrong with IKEA, but there's just none in our house. It's beautiful to look at, and we would love to have some, but we're just using what we have, and it works out just fine. One thing I will tell you before I wrap this up is that part of the reason I had all of the crafting stuff in our kitchen, in our pantry cupboard, is because that's where we are a whole bunch, you guys. We are down there in the kitchen so much throughout the day. And if I'm working with my son, it's such an easy thing for me to do to just tell my daughter to go get some craft supplies out, and she will entertain herself for a good long bit, and I can do lessons. So that's why I decided to put the crafting stuff there in the kitchen. I know it's not a typical place, but I am going to do an entire video coming up next week or maybe later this week about why we no longer use a homeschool room. You guys, it was actually creating problems for us. So I know having this stuff all over the house and in this kind of what may seem mishmashy way may seem kind of not very helpful to some people, but for us, this is so much more helpful, having it spread out throughout our house in places where we use it. This is so much more helpful to us than having one dedicated space. And I'm going to go through that. I have at least 3 pitfalls right now that come to mind. I'm going to sit down and think through what I'd like to say about that. I might have more than 3 pitfalls, but having stuff just kind of in these little pockets, these little nooks and crannies around our house has worked out so much better. We actually solved a lot of problems that we were having in our homeschool by having everything in one room in a dedicated space. So I will make that video and link it. Make sure that you tune back to the channel to find that. Make sure you're subscribed and go ahead and like this video. And I hope that you got some helpful tips and enjoyed seeing a little bit of a tour of where we store and use our homeschool materials. Take care, everyone.